I miss being more creative.
It's submitted.
Good morning, everyone. I just got back from Pilates. It was a hard class, I'm not gonna lie. I really like this instructor that I go to on Monday mornings, and she always challenges me though. Every time that I think I'm getting a little stronger and that, oh yeah, I'll just go to class and it'll probably be fine. Nope, that's not the case. It's not the case. Anyway, this is an attempt. It's probably gonna be a little shaky because I have not really been vlogging or like consistently vlogging in a really long time, probably honestly like over a year or so. But I was just thinking, I finally had a weekend or a week where I was on top of everything I needed to be on top of. My job, my freelance work, my PhD, shocker for once, my fitness, and I was feeling really good. I was kind of like sitting with this feeling of, oh, there's nothing else that I actually need to be doing right now, and trying to figure out what I wanted to be doing with that time. And I watched some TV, but I kind of got bored of that, honestly. Like I was like, usually this is kind of what I do to turn my brain off, but because I had the whole weekend to just kind of do what I wanted to do, I was like, what do I actually want to be doing with my time? And I kind of was like, dang, I really wish, like I miss being more creative. I miss vlogging here and there. I miss taking photos and also just like posting them on Instagram. I miss talking to the people that I used to talk to on Instagram and also just on YouTube. So I was like, let me try to film a weekly vlog and just see how it goes. I have like no expectations. My main goal is honestly just to do it. I watched this video that was like, if you're creative but lazy, watch this. I think that was the general title. I don't know, like put it here. I was watching it and basically the message was, you just need to do things. You need to stop making plans around doing things and just start practicing. And while I don't necessarily want to be a creative in the sense that I want that to be my professional career, it is something that I enjoy and that I miss doing and that I feel myself always starting and not finishing. And so this week is going to be my attempt to vlog hopefully every day or like bits and pieces every day and just try to be creative again. So we are going to, we'll just see how that goes. Oh, one update, I have a new keyboard, which I love. I actually did film an unboxing of it, so I will insert that here. I do have a new shelf and I don't think I've shown this yet, so I will show you my new shelf. Here's my lovely shelf. My partner helped me put it up and it was kind of annoying because the studs are uneven and there's only really a stud on, I think, that side. But it's not, there's not too much on here. I'm still trying to figure out how I feel about this plant draping. It used to just kind of hang down right there. So I don't know if I actually like it like that, but I'm gonna leave it there and see how I feel about it. So yeah, I finally have a shelf and it definitely makes the corner feel a little less bare. My plan for my desk is to get an L desk. So I want to have another desk in the back right there. And then I think could maybe do some cool things with lighting or something like that, but we'll see. I have migrated to the kitchen because I need to eat something. I'm really hungry, but I have a lot of afternoon meetings and there's just some work that I need to complete before they start. And I also have to send the grocery order in for pickup if I want to get it by 4 today. So I have to figure out a meal plan for the week. So I'm gonna need to lock in for the next like 30 minutes or so. And then my hope is that I can make myself maybe some eggs with an English muffin for lunch. I just toasted a protein pancake leftover from this weekend, so I'll probably have that and a protein shake, but lovely pancake. And then my protein shake. I really like this brand, and I also really like this blue color. I definitely have had nails this color before, and it's kind of making me want to get nails that are this color again soon. But yeah, this will be my first lunch. Alarm for 10:10, labeled meeting with set alarm for 11:55. Good morning, y'all. I am in the office today. I don't think anyone else is here. Someone else just came in. It is now Wednesday, and I spent the morning just doing some work. I feel lately, at least, I've been feeling pretty good with my workflow, and I think that's in part because, like I mentioned in this first part of the video, I finally feel like I caught up on everything I needed to be doing. So I'm entering my natural afternoon slump time. So I thought, in an effort to reinvigorate myself, I'm going to submit my IRB. So the brief context for this is that I have been working on this IRB for the past 3 months, maybe longer, like way too long, honestly, probably for an IRB, although I'm trying not to be too hard on myself. Essentially, I drafted it. I got multiple rounds of feedback. Everyone on my committee has seen it. And last week I had compiled all the documents in a really nicely formatted manner and basically asked my chair for a final review because she had requested this in our most recent check-in. So I sent it, but then in the email I said, unless I hear from you, I will, aim to submit this by the middle of the week. So it is now the middle of the week. I have not heard from her, so I'm assuming that everything is good to go. Again, I wouldn't do this if your chair or committee members like hadn't reviewed any of what you were doing, but at this point there's been so many rounds of feedback that I'm just like, I think I can submit this. And I also really want to submit it before the school year starts up again, because it'll just be a lot busier. So I'm going to submit it with all of you right now. I guess I was also nervous to just make that decision and do it, but let's do it. Also, because I've been so sporadically vlogging, I don't know if I ever actually explained what an IRB is, but in case I didn't, IRB stands for Institutional Review Board. Each university has an IRB, and it's a group of researchers who essentially are in charge of reviewing what your study proposal is, what you're planning on doing, and making sure that the subjects that you are going to be studying and working with, that their rights are protected and that their well-being is protected, because you're functionally wanting to limit the amount of risk as much as you can. And then one of the other important things is just informed consent, so that they know what they're signing up for. For my case, because I'm interviewing adults and I'm not really interviewing any populations that are deemed vulnerable, at least according to the IRB's definition of that. And because I'm doing interviews, I'm not doing any deception, I'm not doing any experiments. I think I'll have hopefully expedited review, which means that the whole committee would not need to convene to review everything and approve it. So my hope really is that it should go pretty quickly, but that will also be something that I will let y'all know, basically, like how long it takes. Also, if I have to do any edits, they might request additional information from me. But some of the things that I have tried to do to ensure that this process goes as smoothly as possible is that from the beginning, I have been in contact with my IRB office. I'm very lucky that my university's IRB office is very responsive, and pretty much anytime I've sent an email, I think I've gotten a response within the next day or two. Sometimes it's even the same day. So I have a very responsive IRB, which is great. And then I've asked a lot of questions related to my protocol. And then once I had a draft, basically after, I think at this stage, my committee had reviewed it at least once. So once I had a draft of my protocol, I then set up a meeting with folks at the IRB office to not really go over everything in depth, but I printed out, well, I didn't print it out, but I created a document online. I feel like I sound so old saying that. I had a Google Doc of all of the kind of like 10 common problems with IRBs. And I basically went through that list with the IRB folks, and they kind of answered some of my questions, had the chance to do a cursory review of like what I had written, and hopefully that will help. Feel like I'm in a pretty good spot, and anything else at this point, I feel like I would just need them to tell me what they're looking for. So IRB is probably the one place where I was told by my instructors, at least when I was going through my program, it's the one place in academia and in life in general probably where plagiarism, like basically copying the wording of previous accepted IRBs or previous approved IRBs, is acceptable. And at first that was really hard for me to wrap my mind around, but a lot of times they're looking for very specific language. And so if you already have, for example, an informed consent form, in my case, I'm going to do it in a Qualtrics form. If you already have language that works for something like that, then there's no need to try and rewrite an informed consent form using other like new wording, because it's not like you're copying someone's ideas or their analysis of something. It is literally just like a form. So it's fine to do that. So I also asked to see a lot of like some of my colleagues, their IRBs, and then one of my committee members shared her informed consent form for a study that she's currently doing. And that's always helpful, especially if they're at your university. All that yapping, let me submit. Okay, y'all, we are coming to the end. I am so nervous for what feels like no reason, but it is what it is. As I was going through the document, attaching my supplemental materials and just doing some cross-checking, I did find some inconsistencies. So it was good for me to do just one final check across my document and the form and everything like that. I think for the most part, everything should be consistent now. So let's submit it. Oh, my PI has to sign it too. I guess that does make sense, obviously. So I will have her sign it, so I can't submit it quite yet. But okay. Man, that's anticlimactic. I'm dumb. I should have remembered I had to do this. Okay, so a little anticlimactic because I didn't actually submit it, but hopefully she'll get back to me soon. Maybe before the end of the day because we're still around lunchtime, but we'll see. I'm back. It's 6 o'clock now. It's after work hours, although I still have some work emails to send. But I went to my Pilates class, and after I got out of my Pilates class, it was probably like 5:30, something like that. And so anticlimactic because my chair ended up submitting the form for me/us because she essentially, in the way the form where it was like linked, you can share the link with other people and then they can just edit it directly or sign or whatever. So I guess she just went in and signed it and then submitted the form, but she also had some edits and I'm a little unclear. I just need to like go through and actually read what she needs me to verify with the office, but it's submitted. So I'm sorry that we didn't have a little moment where we were, countdown 3, 2, 1 submit, but I'm excited. I'm just going to look through and check what she wants me to check now, but my IRB has been submitted and it feels kind of like a big hurdle. So I'm really happy about that. That is it for tonight. Oh, I do one thing really quickly. I am flying to the West Coast tomorrow evening for the weekend for my niece's baptism. My niece, I don't have any siblings, so anytime, I feel like I've had to explain this to pretty much everyone I've told this to, so I will also be doing the same thing here, but one of my really good friends from high school just recently had a baby, and she's an only child. I'm also an only child, although probably not actually. I probably have siblings in China, but with that asterisk aside, I'm an only child here, and so I am the unofficial aunt, and so she's my niece. So if I say niece, that's who I'm referring to. I have new luggage because my old luggage broke. It was a little bit sad and sentimental because I've had that luggage since I graduated high school, so it has been over 10 years now that luggage has been with me, so I got weirdly sentimental about it no longer working and me having to buy new ones, but I have a very nice luggage now, and my mom also actually kindly bought me some luggage covers for the rollers. But anyway, long-winded way of saying I got a new luggage strap, and look at how cute it is. It is a dust ball or dust bunny from, my reference for this is Spirited Away, but I think it's just a common kind of anime character, but for me, I saw it and I was like, oh my god, it's so cute. So this is my new luggage tag. I'm a little worried about the little spikes here because I just don't know if they're going to rip off easily, so I'll keep my eye on them, but the review said it feels pretty sturdy, and honestly it does, so hopefully it'll be fine. But look, it's so cute. I probably will maybe order another one for my other bag, but I'm obsessed. My trip back to SF was a quick one, but we managed to do a lot in a few short days. I, along with some other family and friends, arrived Thursday evening, and our first stop was Taco Bell. The next day was my niece's baptism. I don't really have any photos from these except for this one. Look how cute her hand is. And after the baptism, we all went out for brunch. The next day, we had a girls' trip to Napa. We made it to 3 vineyards. The first one specialized in bubbly wines, I believe. And since it was our first stop, we did a basic flight. And if I'm remembering correctly, I liked the first one on the left the best. The second one was my favorite one, probably because the winemakers are Spanish. And if you didn't know, I used to work at a Spanish wine bar, but we tried an Albarino and a Tempranillo and some cabs. And then we ended it at this vineyard with a gondola. You got some cool views. I do think they have a shuttle if you don't like heights. And I'm not going to lie, the wine itself wasn't amazing, but the gondola ride was pretty fun. And we also just were having a good time regardless of what we were drinking. Ended the evening at Restoration Hardware, which, yes, is a furniture store, but they also have these restaurants. And I had very low expectations because usually places that look like this have very mediocre food, but I was pleasantly surprised. We started off with these fried artichokes and prawn appetizers. I got a kale Caesar salad with some salmon, and then my friends got steak. They said it was really good. These truffle fries were really good, and then I finished the evening with some strawberries and cream. The cream did kind of make my stomach upset, but and then Sunday was the last day, and we had her sip and see, which is kind of like a party where everyone can meet the baby and sip something and see the baby, hence sip and see. All in all, it was a very fun weekend, and I'm glad that I got to be there for this. It's definitely a new chapter in my life, being an aunt, and it's tough living on the other coast, but I'm going to do my best to be as present as possible and make it for these bigger moments. I hope you enjoyed this mashup of a vlog. I feel like I'm really thriving in the fall, and things are starting to fall into place more. I hope you have a good week, stay safe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!